And one of the other interesting, I don't know if I would say it was a choice or if just how it ended up, but your business is based on the open source model, right? I mean, the product is open source in principle.
No,
Oh,
not anymore.
okay. All right. What led to the change?
Yeah, so when we started 6 years ago, there was no Kubernetes. It was fairly early days with Docker. A lot of it was Mesos Marathon, Apache stuff.
Mhm.
So we naturally, you need to figure things out, see what sticks. So our first kind of strategy was creating a community around it, build a community, and then start selling enterprise services.
Yeah.
Kind of like Red Hat model. That didn't work out. I think because of the dependencies that we have on things like Kubernetes, containers, orchestrators. The, these days you can spin them up as a service.
Yeah.
So it's easy, but then you needed to basically build the entire Kubernetes stack. Was really hard. And the other thing was that we based our tech stack on Scala around that time, functional programming language, which is not super popular. It's not like Node or Go, you know. So I think the potential community was not there.
Yeah.
Then we shifted temporarily to closed open core, you know, with a licensed core or a closed source core with open source things around it.
Oh.
And then I think at that time Elastic got into some heavy weather with Amazon forking their Elastic and then building it as a service. Yeah. And at the time we were also in Redmond with Microsoft talking, and then they brought in Brandon Burns from Google, one of the guys that started Kubernetes at Google. And Brandon Burns is a smart guy, so he started talking about you can make money at the bottom, really close to the iron. You can make money at the top, really at the business layer. But in between, it's hard. And it made a lot of sense to me. So I was like, you know, I think we need to move to SaaS, because if you look at Tableau or ClickView or Salesforce, you don't care what kind of databases or technologies they use underneath. You just use it for the business value that it provides to you. And I think that's also with Vamp. We needed to shift away from the more technical fetish thing almost, and move to providing real business value to people that basically want to bypass or IT or move faster.
Yeah.
And that's why we went to SaaS. That doesn't mean that we don't use open source technologies. We do.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that we don't work with open source technologies. We are fully like cloud native compatible with Elastic and Prometheus and all these things, Grafana, Kibana.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that we don't provide open source tooling or components around what we do.
Yeah.
But the core of it is a SaaS service that we.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense. I mean, there's benefits to both approaches, and I think the benefit of SaaS, or even if it was a closed source product, is that you have a lot of control over the quality. And in this case, it's literally quality control that we're working with here. That's a really important factor. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And we did a lot of on-premises installations. They're still running on-premise installations of Vamp, or managed installations also, which made sense at the time. But now we believe that there's a huge market opportunity with companies that are not like the top tier enterprise Netflix, Spotify style companies, because they have a lot of engineering talent and capabilities in house.
Yeah.
But there's this big market underneath that is not super focal or sexy, but they run a good business. They run software as a service companies, platforms. They run e-commerce platforms. They make money. They have an open shop, and they kind of hit that first kind of modernization challenge.
Yeah.
Like maybe they're like 3 to 5 years in. They start to add the first microservices because they need to innovate and modernize. They need to scale. And then they get into this challenge that we solve. But they don't have like 10 DevOps or SREs engineers. They don't want to hire 10 DevOps or SREs engineers. They basically want to deliver features to their clients because they run a shop, they run a platform. So we believe there's a huge opportunity to service those organizations. Let's call them SMB plus, kind of. That don't have a lot of opinion on how you should do this release orchestration, but have a need for it. And our promise is that with Vamp, you can basically install and get up and running within 3 clicks. Which is a big change from playing around with all these point solutions and open source tools and making them work together, and not having a nice UI for your business colleagues. So our promise is really focused on those people, and that's why a SaaS is crucial, because like with Salesforce, if the alternative is waiting 2 years for a custom implementation of an ERP system or a CRM system, or grab your credit card, sign up, and build your own little CRM form, and you're working within a day. That's what our ambition is. Jokingly, I always say I want to be the WordPress of release orchestration. Basically, it's democratized software. It shouldn't be smoke and mirrors and like hand waving. It's just click, 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 agent install, and best practice release policies we provide, out of the box metrics and budgets, and off you go.